Guys, it says, how's the weather, Parks? I'm obsessed. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aylin, and today we're going to be talking about the 4 books that I read in January. Not my greatest month, but I'm just getting back into the habit of reading, so we will take it. Definitely not the worst month I had, especially if you look at last year. This month I read 4 books, which, like I said, is not my greatest, but I am still pleased with because it means I'm getting back into the habit of reading, and that is the most important thing to me. So I want to do monthly wrap-ups, and I figure we got to start with January. We got to start somewhere. Even if there aren't a ton, I want to form the habit of filming and posting these for you guys. Starting with the first book that I finished this month, None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. This is a thriller. I don't know if you could call it domestic. It's basically about these 2 women who are birthday twins. They were born on the same day in the same hospital, which is kind of crazy. That's not the crazy part. The crazy part is that they meet on their 45th birthday. They're both celebrating their birthdays in the same restaurant, at the same restaurant. One of these women is pretty successful. Bobby, why are you crying? Dog mom duty called. Sorry about that. One of them is a podcaster, and her life is definitely something that the other one envies. Her husband has a really good job in real estate, and they have a super nice house. She's able to do podcasting, and she does this series where she interviews women who have become super successful and are kind of like self-made, and it inspires other women just to like see how that process happened, how it started, what steps they took, and hopefully ignite something in them to be able to do something similar. On the night that they meet, the night of their birthday, the other woman, what are their names? So the podcasting woman, her name is Alex. The other woman's name is Josie, and her life is not something that she even envies or is very happy with. I'm not saying it's not enviable to some, it's just not what she wants. She's always felt very unsatisfied or dissatisfied and unfulfilled by it. She is married to a man who is 30 years older than her, about 35 years older than her. They got together when she was a teenager. Her daughters, one of them stays in her room all day, the other one doesn't talk to her and ran away a really long time ago, and somehow she gets Alex to start a podcast about her in a new turn of events for someone who is about to change her life. We find out that Josie might be a little bit of an unreliable narrator, an unreliable source even for her own life, and Alex becomes very disturbed by everything that Josie shares with her. Josie definitely misunderstands what her relationship with Alex is. Josie definitely sees her as like a best friend, where Alex sees her as someone she's just interviewing, and she has gotten to know, but it's more of an acquaintance and professional relationship, and so those lines and boundaries are crossed. It's very interesting. It kept me on the edge of my seat, and it kept me awake during the 6-hour drive, so I loved this, and I really need to read more Lisa Jewell because this, in my opinion, was phenomenal. Then, because my boyfriend picked out a book for me to read last month, he picked The Giver by Lois Lowry. This one is a dystopian about this society. They have taken away any like pain and negativity, but with that they've also taken away all choice as well as any like happiness that you can feel. There's only contentment for the most part. Everyone is super polite, nobody has a ton of opinions, everything is just the same. However, in each of these communities, because there's a bunch of them, they're all like pretty small in order to keep everything sustainable. There is someone called the receiver, and the receiver is basically the person who has all of the memories of the past and the way that things used to be, essentially like our version of reality. So he remembers snow and colors and things of that sort. We're following our main character Jonah, who on his 12th birthday, or all of their 12th birthdays, it's like a whole ceremony, he gets chosen to be the new receiver and take on this task and learn from the person who then becomes the giver. Very good, very emotional. I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it like a 3.75, 4 out of 5 stars. I watched the movie before I finished this, and I think I prefer this. The concept of the end was the same, the execution was just different, and I think I liked it a little bit better here. There were things that shocked me. It was a very easy book to read. Like the writing style was very accessible and didn't take me long at all. So thank you to my boyfriend for picking this for me. I did really enjoy it, and I enjoyed watching the movie with him as well. You guys, I finally finished Chameleon Aura by Billy Chapata. This one I also gave a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I think with my goal last year of trying to read a poetry book every month, I kind of got burnt out on poetry, which is totally fine, but it took me so long to read this one just because I wasn't in the mood for it, which is again totally fine, but I think that hindered my reading experience as well as my rating. It just felt very long and redundant at points, but this is also one of his older works, so I'm not taking that opinion too heavily, if that makes sense. Like, it's not going to affect my decision to pick up more of his work in the future because I have read his later poetry collections and I've liked them more. This one was good. I still really enjoyed it. There are still poems in here that I love and I would recommend Billy Chapata's work overall. This one just wasn't my favorite of his collections. And then the last book that I finished in the month of January was another thriller, because I am in my thriller era at the moment, and that is A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. Like I said, this is another thriller. This one we are following our main character Chloe, who is a therapist, and about 20 years ago she found out that her father was responsible for the serial unalivings that were happening in her town of teenage girls. She was about 12 years old when it happened and he was taken away, so she obviously doesn't talk to him much, and then that really deeply affected her mother as well, and so she's not really in contact with her parents. 20 years after her father was arrested and all of these unalivings were happening, they start happening again in her new town, and she's not sure if it's a copycat or what the case is, so she's trying to like figure it out. This one definitely had a slower start, but it was very creepy and atmospheric. I really enjoyed it, and it's what made me want to pick up more of Stacey Willingham's books. I have one on audio and then one physically, so I will hopefully be reading those this month, because I really like the way that she writes. I think that this was super well done, even though I kind of saw the ending coming. Like, I kept saying that I have no idea who did it, but the people that I like had a feel like if I were to guess that did it were the ones who did it, if that makes sense. And that to me was a little disappointing, because when I'm reading the end of the thriller, I want it to be like so shocking, make sense, but also come out of left field type of thing, and that's not necessarily how this one went. I kind of saw it coming. So not bad, still a really good thriller. I still want to read the rest of her work. Obviously this was not anywhere near bad, but I would give it like a 3.75 out of 5 for a thriller. I also started House of Earth and Blood, which is the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas, as well as I read a little bit of Fourth Wing, but not a ton. Still haven't finished it. And then I also read a majority of Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey, but I'll be finishing that in February. That is my wrap up. Not the best month, but like I said, the most important thing is that I've created the habit again. So that is all I have for this video. So let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of these, or what you read in the month of January, how your month went, what your favorite book was. All of the things. I love chatting with you guys. It means so much when you comment, even if it's just to say hi. Would love to talk to y'all there. But that's gonna be it from me. I hope y'all are doing well reading, mentally, and otherwise. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I really hope to see you all in my next one very soon. Bye guys.